Or no either. This is why I shouldn't be in charge of buttons. Okay, hello, good morning. So we were just saying, I was actually just bragging on us, and I said, oh my gosh, we're getting so much better at this. And I think I figured out the name of this show, you know how to change it now. I think I got it figured out. So I was like, oh yeah, we're getting the hang of this. And then Megan goes, wait a minute, we're not live.
Well, you reached over to click the button, so I'm like, oh, okay, she's got it today. She clicked the buttons.
Yep, sorry. That was my fault. So good morning.
Good morning.
The sun's shining for now. I think it's supposed to rain later, right?
What?
I thought it's supposed to rain later.
No.
I'm going to a graduation in Fair Grove later, and they canceled it. It was supposed to be outside, I think, on the football field. And they had to move it to High Street.
Right during the game, too.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
What time? Do you know what time the game is?
7 o'clock, I think.
7.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe not soccer games tonight. I don't know. So, I told Megan I'm cooking up something different for, I have some ideas. And I don't ever like to tell her, because we're friends outside of the show. So, I don't like to tell her anything beforehand because I like her to be.
Spring stuff on me.
I like to surprise her.
She thinks that I love, surprises. No,
yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So, I've got a couple different things we could do.
Okay,
but
let's go with the
first of all, I feel bad. How was your week? Did you have a good week this week?
Thank you for asking.
I didn't want to jump right in there. I was like, wait, we didn't even recap what we did this week.
Man, I wish I could share more.
Oh yeah, what's
stuff,
going on?
Yeah. And I will soon. Because honestly, I feel like when I was sharing about all of the divorce crazy stuff, I feel like people were really interested in that. And then I stopped talking about it.
Well,
I just kept my mouth shut. And so
you may be wondering what's going on. So yeah.
Yes. So we'll discuss that.
But it's good things.
Yes, it's all good things.
And positive and all that good stuff.
And going forward, we'll talk about it soon.
Okay, good. That's good though. And what about your workout? Did you finish that 75? So this was back in January when we had the workout thing, and you did 75 hard.
Oh no, absolutely.
But 75 days is only 2 months or something. Or yeah, something like that.
3 months?
3 months. Well, isn't 3 months 90 days?
Oh, that's true.
Anyways, 2.5 months. But so if you stopped that program, have you started anything else?
So yeah, I've continued to do my normal workouts.
Oh, okay.
I have,
and they have little challenges, right? That's how Beachbody works.
And
They've
I
got
have
8 days or 20 days. Or whatever.
And so I've been doing a 6-week program. I have 1 more week left of it. It's called 10 rounds. So it's like a boxing workout with weightlifting. I know, it really gets some aggression out in the garage.
Yeah.
I've done this program 4 times. So I've been doing that. And then we have a new program launching the end of May.
Nice.
Called, Fire and Flow.
Oh.
And it's with 2 of our female trainers.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited for it. It's new.
Yeah.
I love when we launch new programs.
And I bet it's a lot easier to work out with the nice days out in the garage rather than frigid
weather. I've been dripping out
I
there.
Bet.
When I'm done, I'm
right?
I'm like, water.
Yeah.
Water. Where's my water?
Now,
that's a bug.
Do your ew. Do your it's okay. It's not going to get us this way over there. And look, it's crawling under the door. We're good. It moved on. Now, do your boys get out there and work out with you?
Sometimes, yeah.
I think that's so good.
Yeah, a lot of times. And then sometimes I'll try to time the workouts when the daycare kids are sleeping. But then lately, I get really tired when they finally go down because, I'm like, I hate this.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been trying to do them earlier.
Yeah. And
so yesterday I only had 1 daycare kid yesterday, but I had Aiden and Andrew and Raylan outside with me in the garage while I was doing. And so they're fighting, and I'm stopping, and I'm like, stop it.
Oh, no.
And then they're going inside and leaving the garage door open. And I'm like, close the door. And I'm just like, man, guys.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot when you have multiple kids. Yeah. But that's good, though, that they're seeing you work out and stuff, and then they create health. It gets them healthy habits and stuff.
Yeah, because your kids are watching everything you do.
Yes, absolutely. Parker used to watch me work. So I told you I've been working out. I do the on-demand jazzercise because it's dance aerobics, and it's totally my jam. So Parker in the past used to do that with me in our bedroom and stuff, but I like to be alone when I do it because I'm like, this is my mom time. This is me. I'm doing self-care. I don't want a little kid bouncing around next to me. It's get out of here. And then you move around a lot, and it's like he's always in your way, and I bump him, you know. So I just keep laying in there with me, and he just like watches me. He's like,
what are you doing?
he like looks all around, and he's like, what is this woman doing? Like, she's all around, you know.
I'd
It's
be interested
really
to
cute,
see
though.
what you look like doing jazzercise.
I'm gonna lock my doors to make sure that you don't try to pop in over there sometime.
I'll have Phil shoot me a text. Yeah, she's doing it right now.
No,
Okay, I'll be right there. Phil,
no.
Phil,
I don't
gotta
even let
shoot
Phil
me
in
a
there.
text.
I'm like, nobody bother me. I'm gonna go in here and work out and get to do.
Now, I
quick
will
workout in.
say, last year we had like a dancing program come out. Sean T. Mm-hmm. He came out with what was it called? But it was really cool. It was like a month long. They filmed it in Hawaii. So it was like really fun, like watching the
Doesn't
ocean.
it feel good? Like,
Absolutely.
yes, I love that.
But it was dancing. But the cool thing was, is in each workout there was a small part where he did. You know, have you ever heard of insanity?
Oh yeah.
So he would stop dancing, and you'd have a section of insanity workouts to really just get it going.
That sounds miserable.
I had so much fun doing it that I did it. I think I did 2 or 3 months of it. Like, it was so much fun because he had like Latin styles and hip hop, and then he even had like a swing dance one.
Yes.
And so I was just having a blast. But I remember recording myself, and I was like, awesome. Like,
I have some work to do. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not looking so hot out there.
Another reason that I work out alone, because I don't like to. I don't know what I look like when I work out,
But when
I
I
don't want anybody else to
weightlift,
find
when I
out.
weightlift, I'm like, yeah, open up that garage. Let's just show those gains.
Well, and it might make you work harder, you know,
Yeah.
if you've got the door open and, you know, people are driving by and stuff. So anyways, hey, so I do have a really interesting story. This is my new segment called Did You Hear? So this is just if we find topics in the news that we want to talk about. So I found this, I don't know if you saw this story or not. Do you ever follow like KY3 or anything
Yeah.
like the local news? Okay, did you hear about the doctor that was charged for assaulting an Uber driver? This was recently. I think it was over the weekend, May 11th. So this doctor was downtown, I believe, and he had been drinking.
Of course.
So he took an Uber home, right? And I think that he kind of lived in the country a little bit. Well, he didn't realize, but his Uber driver was deaf. So he kept asking the Uber driver, and I don't know what the communication was prior to getting in the vehicle, because he had to have known, but he was intoxicated, so he must have missed the
Because
memo.
I'm sure he has a sign. Like, there was probably a sign or something.
Right. Or I don't know if it's on the app, like, hey, you know, I'm hearing impaired or whatever, I don't know. So I don't know I don't know what the deal was as far as putting his address in the GPS or something, but they get down like the farm road, and he's like, hey sir, you can pull over here, or like, hey, it's the next stop, and he wouldn't stop because he couldn't hear him. So then the doctor choked him. I think he like tried to put his hands around his neck, and he was like, oh my gosh. And so of course he pulled over and was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? It was all just a big misunderstanding. So I don't know what's going on now as far as like him being in jail and stuff like that, but isn't that wild though? But you would have
probably
to
thought that he was trying to be like kidnapped or
Yes,
killed.
that's the thing. So the doctor thought, oh my gosh, like this guy's trying to take off with me, you know, and he's going to rob me or kill me or whatever.
Imagine that feeling though.
I know. And but then imagine the Uber driver, you know, you are hearing impaired or you're deaf,
And he's just driving along with a GPS.
Right.
And
He's
there's
like,
hands around your neck.
Exactly. And so, of course, he panics and he stops and calls 911, and he like calls the cops on this guy. And he's like, he assaulted me. And he's like, he was going to kill me. It was just all a big misunderstanding. But I thought that was really interesting. I was like, oh, that's a really weird twist of a story that I haven't heard in a while. So anyways, so I have another segment called Love It or Leave It. Okay. So I'm going to go down this list, and we can talk about what we love and what we'd rather leave. We don't have to hit all these points, but we can see how far we get. Okay. I don't know if I talked to you about this maybe recently, but I think it was my sister. Musicals. Like if you were to go to like, is Wicked a musical?
Yes.
And like all those other musicals.
So I would say love it.
You like all those?
So it depends. It depends on what the show is.
Yeah.
When I, in high school, the boy's dad,
was a theater.
He did some theater.
Yeah.
And he was in
Which
Greece.
is shocking to me.
I know.
Like I just can't even picture it.
But he was in Greece, and I'm pretty sure I went and watched it like 4 times.
Okay, but if it hadn't been for him.
I probably would have gone like once or twice. But like I would totally go see Wicked. I would totally go
Like see any of those?
see something depending
Like
on the
Lion
show.
King and stuff?
I don't know if I would see Lion
So it
King.
just depends.
It just depends. But
Yeah.
like I'm like I like them. You know.
Even like Disney movies? Like Encanto?
Oh, so I love Encanto. I just love
Oh,
it.
Encanto. Sorry.
Encanto.
Okay.
Every time I
haven't-
say it, I'm like, Encanto. I can't help myself.
Well, it's better than the way I said it. Apparently that's a popular song because we were watching it at my sister's house and Parker was like, oh, Mom, have you heard this song?
That's because I play it and I make them listen to it with me.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm
He
so
knew
sorry,
all
Parker.
about it. And I still haven't watched the whole movie. I've seen
my
like the
gosh.
first 15, 20 minutes and then
No, it gets so good.
I know everything something always comes up.
I'll chase the boys when we play that song. And I think it's really fun. Parker like dives over the couch and I'm
so
like,
that's why he is associating it. Okay, gotcha. Because I was so confused. He's like, Mom, the Bruno song. And I'm like, what? Like, what does this mean? And so that's okay. It's all
he's
adding
probably
up
heard
now.
it like 50 times.
Okay, so this brings me to I hate musicals like with a passion. Even if someone starts singing like in my presence, I get very uncomfortable. Like, is that normal?
I think so. I think it just depends on who you are as a person.
I
not
just
who you are as a person, but like just like what you like. Like I said, I like some musicals, but then other things, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to go see that, or I don't need to watch that, or like, did you ever watch the movie Into the Woods?
Oh,
It was a musical.
okay. I've heard like the song. I can't clear my throat.
We saw that on our honeymoon. That's when it first came out.
Like you went to the movies?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was just like, no.
Oh. Even any Disney movie,
I do love certain
almost any
movies.
Disney movie except for the older ones like Cinderella and stuff like that.
What about Moana?
Okay, see, that's a different one too. I don't know. But there's 9 times out of 10, I fast forward. Like High School Musical, like with Zac Efron, forget
Loved
about
High
it.
School Musical.
Oh, that sounds awful. I've never watched it. No, see, I would fast forward. I would sit there and go,
Really?
Nope, stop singing. That's what I would do. There was an episode of Grey's Anatomy. I don't know if you've ever watched that, but I mean, so Grey's Anatomy is like a normal show. And then out of nowhere, they would start singing, and I was like, this makes me so uncomfortable. And I like muted it and fast forward, and I was like, that's awful. The only ones I like, this is really weird probably, but like burlesque,
That was a good
cabaret.
That was a good
You know
one.
what I mean? I'm into those, but maybe because
Did
to
you
me-
like Grease? Like the movie Grease?
No, too much singing. Oh, too much.
I love Grease.
I'm like, can we just get on with this? Like, why are you singing about it? Like, just move on.
don't get me
Like,
wrong. Like, I love my rom-coms. Like, I'm a sucker for a good rom-com,
Yeah.
especially like the older ones. Like, have you ever seen What Happens in Vegas?
Yes.
Like,
Oh, that's so good.
or This Means War.
Yes.
Or Bride Wars.
Oh, yeah.
27 Dresses.
I know. Keep going. girl. I
Those
love
were
it.
the good ones, and now I'm like, what kind of crap are you making?
Listen, I go back even further because I was born in the 80s, unlike you. What year were you born? Do I want to even hear this? The year 2000?
No, 97.
Oh, like that's so far off. That was 3 years off.
Listen.
I was born in 86, girlfriend. So I like all the 90 movies. Like those are the ones I grew. Father of the Bride.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's my favorite. Liar, Liar.
That's
so
a good
I would
one.
have to say Jim Carrey's probably one of my favorite actors.
No, I love all those because
Like-
I grew up with my father.
and
And, you know.
yes, and
that's why
Bad
I listen
Boys.
to 80s music.
Bad Boys. Oh, come on, with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Now,
Okay.
ever since the whole, Will Smith thing happened, I'm kind of, sour to him now. But that's still like a classic movie. And I listen to it in my AirPod or my little headphones. Whenever I'm like folding laundry and stuff, I'll like turn on like Bad Boys and like listen to it. I love it. I love it so. And I've heard it so much that I don't have to like watch it anymore. Kind of like Gilmore Girls, how I just like hear it in the background and I
That's
don't have
me
to
with
like
Friends.
watch it anymore.
Yeah. I'm like, yep, this is what's about to happen on this episode.
Yep.
What, one,
Yeah, you
two,
were- or you-
three. Oh, there it happened.
I know, and then I was gonna say you say it for them, like you know what I mean, like you finish the joke for them. I do that all the time.
The other night, their dad was over for bedtime,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in there and we're about to do our Bible story and prayers. And Alex always asks for water, and I was about literally getting up to go put Andrew in his room, and Alex goes, "Can you give me some water?" And I look at their dad, and they all look at me, and I'm like, there's an adult right there. And Alex goes,
Yes.
and Curtis goes, but you get the best water.
Yep.
So I go and I get the water and I come back and I look at him and I said a friend's line. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
You don't even know what it is now?
I had it and then I lost it. It will come back to me.
Well, speaking of, I was in the shower the other day and
Oh my gosh,
Phil was in like the kitchen or whatever. All of a sudden, Parker comes in there knocking on the door. Mom, and of course, the water's running. All I can hear is, Mom, and I'm like, go ask your dad. Why are you in here asking me? Why did they do that?
I don't know. It's comfort.
Like,
just a comfort
oh
thing.
my gosh.
Okay, what's the next one?
Subtitles, on or off?
Off.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I love the subtitle. Now, I think I've told you I'm kind of hard of hearing, like my, in my left ear.
Yeah.
I've had lots of surgeries, and my mom is too. And so, Mom and I we've always had this ever since that was like a thing.
See, my sister uses subtitles. I don't know why she does, but I hate them.
Well, so not only can I not hear very well, and I don't want to like blast the TV, especially at night. And Phil hates subtitles.
I can't stand them.
I know, and he's always like, "Can you turn them off?" And I was like, no, because I don't want to turn up especially whenever it's bedtime.
You're across the house. It's fine.
I know, but it like echoes.
I was watching Hawaii Five-0 last night in the living room, folding laundry.
Oh, man. You see, Parker would like hear that on the other side of the wall and be like, oh, if you guys are up, I'm up. Let's all be up together. Let's get some popcorn and let's make this a whole thing.
Melatonin.
I do that too, but I give him a little gummy.
Really?
Not every single night, but yeah.
Yeah, I do every night. Want to know why? Because I have 3 children. And
you're like, please go to sleepy.
Yeah, they just don't get tired.
Yeah, well, regardless, I like subtitles. And not only because I can't hear, but I also like to know every single word. I'm like OCD a little bit, like if they mumble something, I'm like, what did they say? And then I just so I don't have to worry about that if I've got subtitles on.
No, see, when the subtitles are on, I get distracted.
Do you ever see that meme of like The Office whenever Jan comes in there with like a boob job and then Michael, it said like these are the subtitles and here's the movie and like you can't not look at somebody if the subtitles are on, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, looking down here,
that's what I do. I'm like,
see,
I do a mixture. I don't need those. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, see, I do a mixture. Like, I like read it, and then I like look up at the show, and then I read it, and I look up at the show.
No, it's distracting.
No, it's the best thing ever. I love it.
See, my sister's always had subtitles on, and I never understood it.
Well, and I was going to say, it's sad that we don't have
subtitles?
the Facebook comments on. I can't remember how we turn those on, but I'm curious to see what somebody else thinks, if they like the subtitles on or off. Okay, we got time for one more, and then we got to wrap it up.
Hit me with it.
Oh, I think I know your answer to this one. Book or movie? Oh, wait.
It's like Sophie's Choice.
Really? I know, because you're a book. I know. You seem like a book reader and a movie watcher.
I love both.
Yeah. But if it came down to it, I can't stand books. I don't read at all.
I could read a Christian romance suspense book. Those are my jams.
So, but
Kingsbury.
If it was a movie, would you rather watch it? Like, okay, that's a bad example. I was going to say like Bridgerton. If Bridgerton was a movie or a book, or obviously it's like a movie or a show, but would you read it or would you watch it? You would do both.
I would probably do both.
A couple years ago, I read some books and then I did watch the movie and it was, it was good, but it was like the only books I've like ever read since I was like in high school when I was forced to read.
I used to have this like collection of books. So it's by Karen Kingsbury. It's called The Baxter Family, and it was like 7 series because it went through each of the families. It was like romance and all. It's just good. Oh. And I would read the whole series, the whole 7 series every year.
Oh my gosh.
Because I loved it so much. I haven't done that in a while though, because too many kids. But I did.
You still read though.
But my mom, this over the last few months,
which I don't know I don't know how you do it.
I read. My mom kept ordering me, and then she had like a Quantico series.
So I'm assuming she's a reader.
Yeah, I don't. She used to read more, but they're like 3 books in the series, like the FBI series, Quantico series, and it's always like Christian suspense romance. And I will literally read 1 book in one day.
Oh my gosh. But see, like,
I'm also, though, I'm a fast reader.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm
that
real
helps.
fast.
Well, see, and I get distracted too easily. Like, if I'm reading and like I hear a bird chirp, I'm like,
see, what my problem is though, is if I start
focus.
a book and it's good, I can't put it down.
Yeah. Well, see, and
I
don't like.
can't do it. I just keep reading and reading and reading, and I'm like, I need to know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen with this girl? Is she gonna get killed too?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? Are they gonna love each other? Are they?
I mean, I get. I mean, the times that I have read books in my life, I do understand that, but I don't like sitting in silence. But I can't. I can only read when it's silent. So it's like a double-edged sword because it's like, oh, I want to like turn on some music, but like I can't turn on the music because then I can't focus. And then I'm like, okay, then I'll sit here in silence. And then I'm sitting there in silence and I'm like, I hate this. There's no sound around.
But it's like book or movie. I don't know.
I know.
Because I'm a movie person. Like,
Yeah.
I love my shows.
Yeah.
I love my movies.
Well, I won't
Especially
even
my
read so
good
much as like
rom-coms.
a manual. Like Phil's like, well, did you read how it worked? And I'm like, well, no.
I don't do that either.
And he's like, well, just read it. And I'm like, is there like a YouTube video I can watch? Because like, I don't want to do this. My mom gave me like this bag of like rice because I always make like the 5-minute rice. And this was not the 5-minute rice. And I had my sister over for dinner and she's like, oh yeah, just pop this in there. I didn't even read the instructions. That's how much I don't read. I was like, oh, we'll just figure it out. I did not figure it out.
See, I use
and my
Instant
sister
Pot
and my
for
sister
rice
goes,
now.
did you read the instructions? And I'm like, well, I know, I glanced at them. You know, I can't figure this out. And she's like, it literally tells you step by step what to do. But Phil can back me up on this because I don't read anything or an article. He'll send me an article to read about something, and he's like, hey, you got to read this. And I'm like, okay, can you summarize it for me? Because I'm not going to read this whole thing. And it'll even say on there, you know, like 30-second read or like 60-second read.
That's Curtis.
And I'm like, that's too much. Can someone just summarize it for me?
Yeah, that's Curtis. I'm always like, I send like long text messages. And he's always like, what are you
can
doing?
I get a bullet point, please?
I'm like, what? And he's like, can you just like 3 sentences? And I'm like, I'm just trying to just talk to you.
Well, even like honestly, Instagram posts or Facebook posts, I mean, I feel terrible whenever my friends like share that stuff and they're like, oh my gosh, this is such a good read. And if I click on it and it expands, I'm like, no, I'm not hanging in for that. I don't do that. Sorry. Now, every now and then, you know, it depends on my mood. If I'm, you know, or if I'm like, oh, I kind of like that topic or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, not happening. No. Anyways. All right. Well, we need to wrap up because the boys got to go to school and all that good stuff. So this weekend, I'm going to a graduation tonight, and then I have a graduation party. Everyone's graduating. So exciting. Do you have anything going on this weekend fun? Hopefully now I know it's supposed to rain today. Do we know what the weather's going to be like the rest of the weekend?
I think sunny.
See, Phil is my weatherman, you know, and Phil does all of I always ask him. I'm like, Phil, what's the weather going to be like?
It's going to rain Sunday.
And he's like, well, I don't know. Did you check your weather app?
It's going to be nice tomorrow,
sure
but it's
didn't.
going to rain Sunday. Maybe that will change.
Hey, as
Warm
long as
weather again next week.
as long as it's nice tomorrow, that'll be good.
No, the boys and I are just going to hang out, and then I'm going on a
Date?
date on Sunday.
Good for you. On Sunday? On rainy Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll be fun. My sister's coming to town. Parker goes, my gosh. He's like, I feel like every weekend Sadie comes to town. My sister, my niece's name is Sadie. And so he's like, I feel like Sadie comes to town a lot. We've seen them a lot lately. But they're coming in because my cousin's graduating and stuff. So they'll be here for tomorrow. So that'll be fun. So I'm happy with some warmer weather because I can't handle a bunch of kids in the house when it's raining outside.
I've been literally kicking the kids out every single day, and they're like, it's hot. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
Get out. I don't know if I ever told you that story, but my friend that has 5 kids, and it was during quarantine time, and she had all 5 kids in the house 24/7. You know, you can't go anywhere. No. And so she was like, okay, fine. She goes, I need some alone. I think she wanted to watch a movie, and she wanted uninterrupted. So she kicked him out. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah,
she kicked him outside,
house.
and I think she locked the exterior doors.
I would totally do that.
And then one of them came up to the door. She may not have locked them. Maybe she told me that just to embellish the story. But one of them came up to the back door, and she was probably 12 at the time, or maybe 13. And she like knocks on the door, and she's like, "Mom!" And Katie goes to the back door. She's like, "I told you not to bother me." She was like, "I'm bleeding," and she's like, "That doesn't look too bad. Put a leaf on it. You'll be fine." She was like, "You are not coming.
That's
in this
totally
house."
me. I'm like, "Is it broken? No. Are you bleeding? No."
I think I told you whenever I laid down for a nap last weekend.
When Parker was like, my arm.
Yep.
Your
I
arm?
told him, I said, don't you come in this room. I said, if you come in this room, I'm going to give your backpack because he got a new Space Jam backpack. I said, I'm going to give that backpack to Alex. And I said, don't you come in this room and bother me for 30 minutes. And then literally he walks in there 2 minutes after I laid down, and he's like, I'm like, seriously?
Kids, man.
Oh, yeah, I fell down. Oh, my gosh. And then he, like, pulls his shirt down. Can you look at it? I said, you were fine.
You know, I will say one thing, though. Like, Alex is a huge baby when it comes to pain.
Parker is.
But, like, seeing Parker yesterday when he stubbed his toe on the Hot Wheels track.
Tell me.
I was like, I thought to myself, I'm like, okay.
Yep, that's every kid.
It's the same.
Yes.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah. He's so dramatic.
They're wusses.
He's so dramatic.
But
That's
yeah,
why we're
Andrew,
like, no.
literally yesterday, my tennis shoes in the kitchen, he, like, kind of steps over it, topples over it, right? And I'm just like, buddy, careful. He turns right back around to go the same same way, and just goes
And walks over him again.
smack on the ground. And I pick him up, and he looks at me, and he's just like,
I was like, hey, he's probably the bravest one of all of them.
Yeah.
He's the 2-year-old, and he's braver than the 4-year-old and the 6-year-old.
yeah, he's handsy. He's rough.
He's handsy?
He
He's rough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, though, like at church, they're always like, oh, he's perfect.
He's shy.
But then he does not like the daycare kids.
Oh, no. So he lets them know it. The one time I had him at church in the nursery thing or
Yeah,
whatever.
he did the spaghetti in the
I know, but
microwave.
he was acting so shy and sweet and all that stuff, which he is a sweetheart.
But then yesterday,
anyway,
he just walks into your house.
No, of course I love that. I love it because Alex was like, "Can I have a Capri Sun?" I'm like, "You know where they are? Grab one." You know what I mean? I love that they're like comfortable to just.
The only time I ever tell Parker and Alex no a snack is if like you had just texted me and you're like, send him home for dinner, or if I know I'm about to send him home, they're like, "We're starving. Can we have a snack?" And I'm like, "No, you're leaving in 5 minutes."
Well, and I opened up a can of worms the other day whenever Alex came over because Parker grabbed a Pop-Tart. And, you know, there's 2 in there. So then here comes Alex. And I'm like, that's a lot. Like 2 of those Pop-Tarts. Like, so I should have.
There's only like 4 in a box, like 4 packages.
Well, yeah, I get the extra large boxes because it's just easy breakfast, you know. But
Maybe I should do that.
But I should have next time. I'm going to say you get one and you get one because it's way too much for them to both eat 2. You know what I mean?
It's not. Yeah, it's a snack.
Especially right at dinner time and like after school and all that stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, all right, we're going to wrap up. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week with my new segments. I'm going to keep brainstorming my little segments, and we'll do fun stuff like that. So, wish me luck.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love new.
I know, right? Surprising stuff. But have a good weekend, guys.
I always forget. Finish first? No, outro.
Yeah.